Beautiful Cairns is where we are tonight, and we are down to the business end of the season, round 5. It's crazy to think that we are already in the final week of this brilliant basketball frenzy. Welcome to the start of round number 5 of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. It's the Adelaide Lightning and the Melbourne Boomers from the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. Jordan Canellis with you in what is a crucial game as we lead in now to the finals. It's in our sights. It's just under a week away. Pete Hooley's with me tonight as well. Pete, welcome. This is a crucial game for both sides. Yeah, it is. Both teams coming off a loss, but the Lightning still technically can make the finals. It's going to be a very uphill battle, but the Boomers, a championship contender, they want to be starting to play their best basketball consistently now, so they want to bounce back. The starting fives have just come in, and Adelaide Lightning are at pretty much full strength, as you can see. The key players, Ali Wilson and Steph Talbot, they'll be crucial tonight to Adelaide's hopes. They will be. Alex Wilson coming off a quiet one. Steph Talbot was awesome against the Lynx, but Chelsea Brooke, what a revelation she's been for the Lightning, playing with a lot of confidence, and a bit unlucky not to win that last game, so they'll be trying to come out with a better start. Marina Whittle, one of the power players off the bench as well for the Adelaide Lightning. For the Melbourne Boomers, the big story tonight, Pete, is that Tess Madgen won't be playing, so there'll be a change at the points for the Boomers. Yeah, it's going to be a huge one. Last time she didn't play due to an ankle. We'll find out why tonight, but they struggled. So, huge game for Maddie Garrick to be able to come in and really try and set a tone and carry a scoring load, because without Tess, you need someone else to find 15 points and a lot of minutes, but more importantly, a lot of leadership. So, everyone on the bench has to be ready to go. Yep, Maddie Garrick and Stella Beck will be the guard players for the Boomers tonight in what is, as I said, a crucial game for them, but also for the Adelaide Lightning. They are 4-5 at this stage of the season. Pete, they'll need just about everything to go right for them. They need to win just about every single game and hope that Townsville and the Boomers lose a couple on the way into the finals. Yeah, look, it's a horrible position to be in. You never want to have to rely on another team's fate or for them to slip up, but technically they can do it, and in a hub season where anything can happen, there's always a chance. But I think for the Lightning, they just want to get back to playing good, consistent basketball, which they haven't so far. As we have a look at that ladder there, and going to need Melbourne or Townsville to pretty much lose all the way through, and they play each other coming up this round as well. So it's going to be real tough, but as I said, they just want to play a consistent 40-minute game and then let everything else take care of itself. Couple of games in hand as well for Adelaide, as you can see. So Melbourne tonight, Bendigo is up next, Townsville and Sydney is the run home. So there's definitely a couple of winnable ones in there, but some tricky challenges along the way. Ali Wilson and Tony Farnworth playing for both sides tonight. Ali Wilson in particular, one of the key players that we mentioned off the top. We caught up with her and Tony Farnworth in the lead-up to tonight's game. Ali, finals are still a possibility for you. How intensely are you guys going to approach this run home in the final round of the season?
Yeah, we're super keen to get out and play tonight. We felt like we played a better game against Perth and just lost it at the end. But yeah, we're definitely coming for this game tonight.
So you've had 4 losses in a row. Where have you, in the day off that you've just had, where have you as a team looked to refocus your strengths?
Yeah, we're looking to change a little bit defensively. We're not happy with where we're at there, so that's been more of our focus.
Is there a Boomers player tonight that you as a team will look to target and try and shut down?
Probably not one specifically. They have scorers all over the floor, so we're looking just to play really good team defence.
Good luck tonight, Ali.
Thanks heaps.
Tony, just the 3 losses for the season. What's the spirit like among the Melbourne Boomers squad heading into the final round?
We're a pretty happy group. We we enjoy each other's company. We had a little bit of a disappointing loss against Southside last game, but we're looking to bounce back tonight.
What does the team pride itself on? What are the main strengths that you guys will focus on in tonight's game against Adelaide?
I think we need to go inside. That's where last time we had some really good success. So I think that's probably going to be our target again tonight. And as for Adelaide, the opposition analysis, what's the biggest threat that they pose? I mean, we don't want to let them get off from the 3-point line. And then also in transition, they're a really strong team. So we just want to make sure we're taking care of that. Excellent stuff. Good luck for the match tonight. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Ali Wilson and Tony Farnworth pre-game spoke to them just a moment ago. Pete, we're not far away from the start of this match. Last time they played was back in round 3. That was Adelaide's first game back from quarantine. Didn't quite go the way they would have hoped. The Boomers ended up winning by 40 points. But since then, in the 2 or so weeks we've had, what direction have both sides gone on through the course of the season?
Well, the Boomers had a little groove there. They found it. Maddie Garrick got going. But this will be an interesting one with Tess Madgen out. We know how potent she is scoring, but she's that flawed leader. So last time they didn't play with Tess Madgen was against the Caps, and the Caps ran riot. So this is going to be a huge test for the Boomers. And the Lightning, they're going to rely on Alex Wilson and Steph Talbot. She was awesome the other night. Had 23, 14 and 6. Nearly single-handedly got them over the line, but they're going to need everybody else to try and chip in. One of those being Chelsea Brooks. She's been outstanding lately. Abby Weirung can get going as well. So if they can really start to find their groove and get out and transition, they can give the Boomers a good run here.
Who goes to Talbot, and what are some of the matchups you're looking forward to now with no Madgen there? So that allows Wilson maybe a little bit more freedom, I suppose. And then the bigs matchups with Steph Talbot and Ezzy Magbagor. Which way do you reckon the teams and the coaches will look to mix and match?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one because obviously you'd assume that Tess Madgen would be going to Steph Talbot, who's an MVP candidate. So look here for someone to put their hands up. It could be Maddie Garrick, but I'm expecting her to go to Alex Wilson. But that's going to be a huge battle to see who decides this game.
So if Adelaide are to make finals, it must start here tonight. The Boomers, for their own sake as well, looking for a win just to strengthen and consolidate their position in the top 4. Underway at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. Adelaide in the navy and the Boomers in that light purple. Here's Magbagor. Out to Beck and into the corner. Karatiana with an early look and knocks it down from range. Great start for the Boomers. Ash Karatiana finding the length early on. Here's Wilson. Steps back and puts it in.
That's a welcome sign for Alex Wilson. Struggled the other night. Only had 8 points, 3 of 11. So good to get her eye in. She's really good when she's extra aggressive and in downhill attack mode.
Karatiana again here for the Boomers. Magbagor at the top. Maddie Garrick, double coverage, sends it inside to Magbagor. Lost the handle for a second, into the corner again for Ash Karatiana. Couldn't double up. Good O-board though from Kayla George. Steps under and puts it in.
Got a little lucky there. I think it might have been an over the back, but if you're Chelsea Brooke, you've just got to sit down and try and get into her knees, push her off, because that's what Kayla George does really well. And Alex Wilson, we talked about her aggressiveness. She's got to be in attack mode looking to score. We know she's a point guard. She loves to facilitate, but that's when she's at her best. Getting downhill, putting that pressure on the rim, drawing fouls, and I think she wants that one back because that should have been a wide open layup.
Yeah, wires crossed with her and Brooke. Looking for that pass out. Probably should have gone on her own way, Ali Wilson. So Beck here is playing the point guard role in absence of Tess Madgen. Garrick, the off guard, has the first shot, picks up the rebound as well, and then they get their wires crossed, the Melbourne Boomers, as Garrick came in for seconds.
It's something to look at and keep an eye on Chris Lucas. He was not happy with the amount of offensive rebounds the Lightning gave up to the Perth Lynx and a couple of games before. It's already been 2 so far. He will not be happy if they can't stop that.
The Boomers, even in their loss against Southside on Sunday, had more offensive rebounds as well. 7-2 was the count on the weekend. In the corner, Weirung puts it down. Scores level early stages of the first Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Karatiana. Magbagor playing very high to start off, driving inside through the paint and laying it in with the left hand. Wilson sharing it with Talbot. And Adelaide caught in a bind underneath the bucket.
Just a great takeaway, as just before. She's so crafty. We know how good she is close to the basket, but right here, we talked about who's going to go to Steph Talbot. She's at her best as well when she gets that ball off the rim and gets in transition, which is why it's so important. Great pass there to Chelsea Brooke, who can't finish. It's so important for the Lightning to get stops, to limit the Boomers to 1 shot so they can get out and run, because that's when they are at their best.
Here's Garrick. Beck at the point. Tess Madgen not in tonight with knee soreness. We've just found out as Maddie Garrick from the corner again. Loves that area. Gets the maximum. Wilson. Out to Brooke. Now Weirung. Inside to Brooke, does a little move. Sends the opposition the wrong way and finishes it off wonderfly.
We're not normally used to seeing Chelsea Brooke inside like that. She loves to pop out and knock down that 3 ball. But as I said, she's playing with unreal confidence as of late as Ezzy doing what we know and love to see from her. But Chelsea Brooke has been a revelation for Chris Lucas, especially coming out of quarantine. Just playing with so much confidence, not afraid to take shots and big shots, and that's what she has to do.
Talbot directing traffic. Gratiana was the one who gave away the foul. So that'll send Luella Tomlinson, I beg your pardon, that'll be won by Luella Tomlinson, who in the end gets it. Of course, it wasn't during a shot, what am I talking about, but she puts it in anyway. Garrick. Lovely little bounce pass from Beck, but George was facing the wrong way. Makes amends though, and from the elbow, lovely jumper.
That's money from Kayla George all day. And Luella Thomason got back into the starting lineup last game, didn't trouble the scorers or get too many rebounds, and actually had to sit as Weirung lets one fly. Had to sit from the start of the second half, and I'm sure Chris Lucas is saying keep Kayla George off the O-boards, and on the other end set screens and just be ready for little dump-offs and finish. And as we see there, that's not going to make Chris Lucas happy. That's what her role is going to be against this strong front power forward.
Too easy to take away from George. Sets up the shot here from Garrick. Puts it down again with the treble. The Boomers at the first time out have got themselves a handy little 8-point buffer.
I know there's one thing that Chris Lucas is going to be talking about. Maddie Garrick, good to see her knock down a couple. When she's going, the Boomers are rolling, but 3 crucial offensive rebounds which have really hurt the Lightning so far, and that's kind of been the tail of the tape. They hurt themselves, and they can't get out and do what they love to do. Get the ball off the rim, run in transition. Alex Wilson running and gunning, Steph Talbot, and when they get the ball, it sets up for these shooters to get early threes. Abby Weirung, Chelsea Brooke. So wouldn't want to be in Chris Lucas's huddle right now. A couple the other night, which he wasn't too happy and had a few words to say, but that's where they have to really heal.
Okay. All right, come out of this time of the 32. Okay, drop down. Okay, you're down the back. You're down the back. You're at the top here. You're on the wings. All right. Go 2 down again with the hand back. Bring stretch. Bring Abby into the pick and roll this time.
Let's go. Strike on 3. 1, 2, 3. Strike.
The message from Chris Lucas, Pete.
Well, we saw just the end of it as we got into the huddle when he said, come up with it. And that's it. It's the offensive rebounds, and it's been killing them the last couple of games. When they lost to the Flyers, it hurt them, and the Caps really put a beat on them on the offensive rebounds, and then it ultimately cost them against the Lynx. So already 3 crucial ones right now, but Maddie Garrick started to find her groove, and she's a streaky player. When she starts getting hot from 3, it can be a really, really long night, so they have to really zone in on her.
The Lightning ranked 5th in the league for average rebounds per game. The Boomers 6th. But in the last couple of games, looks like there's been a big difference. Lovely little block there from Magbagor as Tomlinson tried to drop it in. Under the bucket, tipped it away. Stella Beck for Melbourne. Now to George. Magbagor around to Garrick, who has it. George moved around to the corner. Beck, quick movement. Karatiana from her favourite position. Off the rim, taken away by Talbot. She'll drive down the other end. Pulls up. Unlucky, couldn't finish. More aggression, though, on that play from Adelaide. Garrick again. Gratiana feeds it in. Magbagor up against Brooke and puts it in. Powerful stuff from the 21-year-old under the bucket.
Just a really, really smart play, and didn't have too much of a right. If Chelsea Brooke can get her right foot on the baseline, she can stop that, but that's just a really smart read by Ezzy.
Talbot dipped in with aggression to the inside and then lost the handle.
This is what we saw the other night as well, and have seen from the Lightning a little bit since coming out of quarantine. Their offense isn't designed to be in the half court, run through plays, get the shot clock down. It's more like the possession we saw before, getting a rebound and running and trying to take those early shots in the first 6 seconds of the shot clock. That's when they're at their best. They're not used to be really setting up in offense. So as the Boomers we've seen, loading up on defense, trying to slow them down, that's why they built this 10-point lead.
Maddie Garrick has the 6 points for the match. Not far off reaching 2,000 points in her WNBL career. Probably forecast to do that in the next game. She's 36 points off. As George from distance. Ayla George. She goes to 7. Here's Wilson trying to cross George over. Talbot into Tomlinson. Shot clock down to 5 as Tomlinson goes to the bucket, and for a second time she's had it tipped it away from her by this Boomers defense. Players go sprawling across the floor. Stella Beck's picked herself up. Gratiana. Now Garrick again finds the open path on the inside, but has it blocked away. Brooke. And Tomlinson again unable to finish.
And that's what we're seeing about the Lightning, just to be able to get a stop. Great defense by Chelsea Brooke, and then get it out into Alex Wilson or Steph Talbot's hands. And then if you're on the wing, get ready to spot up in the trail position to knock down those threes. That's where Whittle, Rerung, and Brooke really come into it. But the play before, really good take by Luella Tomlinson, really smart take. Maddie Garrett came out of nowhere to block that one, and the defense right now from the Boomers looks really, really sharp. They look like they're helping each other out, moving the ball, moving together on a unit, and that's why they've held them to 10 points so far.
Two from 2 for Steph Talbot. Snaps the 10-0 scoring run that the Boomers were on. 11 points the difference. High press here from the Lightning. Right away to Beck. George. Right, bounces it into George again. Couldn't go for Purcell. Should get it back again. That was a little sloppy from Brooke, and Purcell makes her pay. Lost it over the shoulder. Chelsea Brooke. Back the other way goes Whittle. Now Talbot. Wilson drops it in.
Alex Wilson, that's what we like to see from her. Always in attack mode. It's a really, really nice little lefty floater finish there. As we said, she was a bit quiet the other night. She had a couple of off games against the Caps and the Flyers, and 3 of 11 last game, and they needed more from her to try and get that win against the Lynx. But we know that she can put points up and put them up quickly, so she's off to a really good start.
Got the extra as well. Garrick. Got 3 guards on the floor at the moment, the Boomers. Purcell, great feed into George, in off the glass. Wilson back the other way. Shoulders right out of the contest. She'll let Adelaide reset. Talbot into Whittle. Rounds Purcell, lovely bounce pass. They'll have to go a second time. Shot clock running down. They couldn't get it in. The move looked all right, but they just frayed at the end.
Just been great hands by the Boomers. They're active on defense. They're coming along with blocks, and they look like they've been beaten 3 or 4 times, but just coming up with massive plays. And that's what the good teams always do. You might be beat at one end, but someone's coming across to help or get a late block or deflection.
No good from range for Beck. Wilson, as we expect, as she has been all season, very lively. Talbot off the Smith screen, couldn't give it back to her, and again the defence closes in the paint from the Boomers, and then George strolls to the three-point line, put the shot up. Adelaide doing better now to win it back off the board. Talbot shouldering her way through.
Looked a bit unlucky there. Just got called for the offensive foul. We have another look from this angle, and it's a bit more better from that, but tough. Tried to split the gap there. Didn't look like it was defense was too set, but that's when Steph Talbot is really, really hard to guard. When she's getting in attack mode, if you're running with her, you can't get too close to her because you bring the defense in like that and it makes her life hard. You're either going to have a wide open layup or spot up to get ready to knock down a three because she will find you.
End-to-end passing, really quick stuff from Melbourne. Kayla George again under the bucket. 14-point leads for the Boomers is their biggest of the night. Half a minute before the end of the first term. Kayla George up to 11 points. First into double digits. Wilson. Tomlinson. Out to Weerung. Just tape it away at the last second from Addie Weerung. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds to quarter time. Boomers will look to add some right before the hooter. Right. Purcell has a free look at a three-point shot. George underneath comes off hands. Less than a second to go. Be a quick catch and shoot here. It will be for Kayla George, who puts it in. The dagger at quarter time. Three-point shot for Kayla George. That's a great way to end the first term for the Boomers, Pete Hawley.
Oh, she's been outstanding. What a way to set a tone early from Kayla George. But Chris Lucas is going to say, again, they had a really good defensive possession, but can't come up with that defensive rebound. It goes out of bounds, and then you give the Boomers a chance, and good teams are going to make you pay. And this has been the issue with the Lightning the last couple of games. They hurt themselves, especially with offensive rebounds. As we see Chris Lucas right here.
Three ball. We need to make change. We need to make change about coming up with loose balls. Go to George. Okay, you've got Purcell. We are in short drops. Okay, got it, guards. Right, we need to be physical. Go it's coming down. Gabby, go to the point for one. Okay, go loop up. All right, let's get some movement. We'll get you coming off so go opposite out. All right, you got that? Shouldn't have to show that. Okay, guys, make some change. Can you at least talk to each other at the other end of the floor? There's not. We're watching you. There's nothing. Nothing. All right, let's go.
Here we go now. Let's go here. Strike on 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
Very honest from Chris Lucas.
Well, it will be, and that's the things we've been talking about for not just that quarter, but it's been the last 4 games. 2 against the Flyers, 1 against the Caps and the Lynx, and it's cost them in all of them. It's that physicality, but not coming up with a loose ball, especially once a shot goes up. Their defense for the majority hasn't been too bad. They've given up a couple of threes, which are off some lackluster defensive efforts. But once a shot goes up, every single player has to get a body, drive them out, so that that ball hopefully can hit the ground and someone can come up with it. So that you can see him pleading, saying, make a change. It's been the same message over and over because we know as soon as they get a stop, the Lightning are tough to stop in transition because they get it and go. Every single one of them are really hard to stop in transition.
And they can't afford to switch off at all, Adelaide. Their finals hopes are still alive, even if they are slim. And it'll start tonight with the win, this run into the playoffs for the Lightning to keep themselves in the hunt. So to try and, I guess, be off a little bit by even a couple of degrees against the Melbourne Boomers in the first quarter. It's does have to change. I think Chris Lucas was right.
Well, you're right, and you're coming up against the championship contender who just lost and wants to get back on track. So, as you said, there's no room for error there because they're going to come out looking to get back on fire, and that's what they've done in that first quarter.
Farnworth on the floor for the first time. Great quick move with Karatiana from the perimeter, puts it in for 2. Starts the second quarter off in style for the Boomers. Whittle. Wilson. 3-point attempts. Airs it out off to the right. One back by Weerung. Tomlinson in the low post tries to roll around Karatiana. Skims off the iron. Purcell down the other end. How's the look-away pass? And not kept alive by Farnworth on the baseline. Cute.
She's got a bit unlucky there. Marina Whittle was staring right at it because she couldn't see where it was going, but it was good defense by the Boomers, and they're off and running.
Weerung. Well, one back by Purcell. Nipped in and seized it. Right. Farnworth, right again, crisscrossing. Purcell wanted to have a shot. Now they've got to go, the Boomers, down to 5 on the clock. Shot was blocked by Wright. Time expires.
I said that's great defense by the Lightning there. Everyone moving their feet and trying to fight through screens, and technically an offensive rebound, but just a great play by Luella Tomlinson. Nice block, but that's much better. Now they've got to build on it. Can they get a good score here and then start to get another stop and then just roll that together?
Abby Weerung. Little's pass for Tomlinson, a little high, but Tomlinson got it back. Now to Brooke driving into the bucket, in off the glass. Nice layup. So they carve back in a little bit. Purcell calling Farnworth to go forward. Now Karatiana. Farnworth again. All of the Tall Ferns players combining. Purcell drives to the bucket. Reverse layup. Holds for a little and then goes down.
Oh, extremely crafty. Really, really tough finish on the other side using the rim as protection.
Scoop layup from Weerung. No good. Purcell in again. Off to Karatiana from the corner. Just overhit that shot. Batted out of play.
And you can hear the difference down each end of the floor, and as McGregor's setting the tone, you can literally hear her dictating the defense, where everybody's moving, where the screen's coming from. Down the Lightning, and it is tougher when you've got younger players to try and step up and be those vocal leaders, but that's the real difference between the championship contending teams and these young teams coming through, and it's a real tough challenge that Chris Lucas is setting to them of talking, really moving together, and we've seen it in flashes from the Lightning. It's when they're up and running and everything's going well, but it's when times are tough, can they continue to do it? As Steph Tower right there with a tough shot.
McGregor down the floor, a little heavy for Davidson. $19-point lead, highest lead of the night for the Boomers. Tomlinson, Talbot. This was gone for an incident behind play, was it?
Yeah, I think it was stuck on the screen there. But you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the ball into Steph Talbot where she can be successful. And I like that play there. A little flare screen from Tomlinson. And get her with a quick rip to the baseline when she tries to catch whoever switches onto her off guard. And we know how quick she is in her first step, and especially when she gets downhill.
Pass inside a little too sharp. You see the stat at the bottom of your screen. Ash Karatiana, 3 personal fouls already before half-time. Garrick, Davidson. Boomers moving it fast around the edge. Beck with the drive to the inside. Talbot lost the footing, lost the handle. Here's Farnworth.
Really, really nice play there, and you can see the difference with the Boomers. They're setting the screens, and Stella Beck was wide open there, just through the palms, but really, really nice offensive execution. As we see right there, it's a great curl play from the Lightning. Look much better. They just got to try and reward themselves when they can get through offense, set screens, and really execute.
Lots of pressure in the face for Steph Talbot on her last few attempts in the paint. Garrick. Boomers on the prowl again. Farnworth from range. Skims away. Here is Ortlip coming down the floor. Tomlinson kicks it out. Talbot from three-point range. Makes good of the long shot. Much needed three-pointer for the Adelaide Lightning. Just their second of the night, Pete.
I'll give the credit to Lella Tomlinson right there. And she's knocked down a few threes so far this season. So really smart play, put it on the floor and not rush, not forcing up against three players right there and kicking out to Steph Talbot, who hit a couple on the other night against the Lynx, and another just dimension to her game. But as you said, the Boomers are going to throw players at Steph Talbot all night long. They're going to try and be physical with her because she's an MVP candidate. She's having a terrific season. She's averaging 20, 10, and 4, and they know how important it is. So it's up to the other Lightning players to try and help out and make her job easier.
Guy Malloy.
Let's work on our matchups. This next play, we're going to go into a flex. The zone that they were in before was a 1-3-1, so we can still work the flex against that, right? And at the end of it, we can just find space and play out a dive. Hey, come on, lock in here. Finish this half strongly.
16-point lead for the Melbourne Boomers halfway through the second quarter. Guy Malloy still at this stage with his team up by a good buffer, urging his side to lock in before half-time. Kayla George, 14 points. Majority of them in the first quarter, doing the best of her work underneath.
She's been great so far, and 2 of 3 from downtown. 2 offensive rebounds as well, really trying to attack the glass, which I'm sure the Boomers, looking at film, knowing that would be a weakness from the Lightning, but really, really good start from her, and Ezzy and Maddie Garrick as well with 6 apiece.
Magbagor back on the floor. Tries to spin away out of the double coverage. Garrick keeps it alive, gets it away to Farnworth. Unable to convert. And quick transition, a little too quick for Talbot, but that was also very good defense from Stella Beck coming across, flying across and sticking the hand out.
Well, I like that defensive switch over Lightning, bit of a zone there, as you heard Guy Malloy talk about. It makes them have to move together, because if you're not moving together in a zone, you'll get exploited and give up layups. So you know you have to be on a rope with the other players and really try and move all together, and I like that they can switch it up into that.
Talbot went the long way around, and again her shot was blocked. Boomers defense. Walls closing in inside the paint. No room to move.
Kayla George having a laugh there. She blocked that out of bounds. This should be Lightning ball, which, as we go, that's why there's 3 of them out there, so we can get to the right call. It looked like a pretty easy one to make. Great block by George, and can the Lightning come up with something here?
Seconds on the shot clock. We run. Talbot fakes around Magbagor, fakes a little pass out as well to open up the lane, but unable to register. Magbagor off a titanic battle on the weekend with Liz Cambage. George gives it away. Long shot from Garrick. Get it straight back though, the Boomers. Good rebounding. Over the top to Magbagor. Up against 3. Farnworth is free. hits the underside of the backboard, and so it spills away here to Ortlip of the Lightning. Long cross-court pass, Weerung. George standing her up. Underneath to Tomlinson. She's up against Beck, flings it out to the opposite corner. Talbot from the middle couldn't deposit it. It was a great move sideline to sideline for the Lightning. That time the inaccuracy let them down. Ezzy. Farnworth. Back into Ezzy again, backing away into the paint. Garrick steps out, shot clock times down. The shot counts. A three-point dagger from Maddie Garrick.
As I said, she's a streaky player. She can put them up and build that score quickly, and she's already got her eye in. That's her third three, I believe, and it's the way she plays. She's really fun to watch when she gets into these grooves, and she's got that little street ball isolation game to her as well. She can break you down, and it's a nice feeling when you're in a groove like that. But as the play before, as you said, it was a really nice little offense. Well, Thomason flicking into the corner, Steph Talbot, but Ezzy Magbagor's box out is exactly what Chris Lucas is going to be saying the Lightning have to do. It doesn't matter where your player is. If that ball's coming off, they're a chance to get it unless you hit a body. She fully just took Chelsea Brook way out of that. That would have fallen right in Chelsea Brook's hands, but Ezzy Magbagor sets the tone on defense with doing those little things, and that's what Chris Lucas is asking. Make that change. Who's going to be doing the same thing?
Up, right, there's nowhere to go. They're one and done. Let's really focus on one and done. Okay.
Time to go, please.
Next set again, we'll have another crack at flex. Give it a good look off the cross pick first. All right, here we go. Come on.
Girls on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Still the game high 19 points for Melbourne. Kayla George 14 points on the night. Maddie Garrick has 9 so far. For the Boomers, for the Lightning, equal top Ali Wilson and Steph Talbot, each with 5. Ortlip into Weerung, into the corner. Brooke, little spin move, couldn't deposit it. Body contact on Magbagor, forced her to lose the handle, so Ortlip will come in, looking for the three-pointer. Talbot's there in a flash, and she gets the putback in off the window.
Much better energy from the Lightning. Guy Malloy saying they're one and done, meaning they can only get one shot. You give up 2 offensive rebounds right there, that's going to really, really annoy a coach, but they've got a little buffer so they can try and fix that, and hopefully that's just a one-off.
Stella Beck, we're a long way out, less than 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Magbagor driving in, and she'll get the visit. It was initially good defense from the Lightning again. It's the last couple of plays now. They've just tightened the screws on defense. Magbagor will get the visit anyway.
Just too quick there, and you know she's really tough to guard in any position because she's got the ability to rip and put it on the floor, and she's got such a quick first step as well. And normally we're used to seeing her seal up and really use that kind of craftiness around the rim with some spins and quick moves, but she can do that as well from the high post.
Just the one from the charity stripe. Boomers were on a 4-game winning streak up until Sunday when they lost to the Southside Flyers by 15 points. They're looking to play themselves back into form after the loss with a week to go. 2 more games after tonight for Melbourne. Talbot from the corner puts it in. Up to 10 points now, Steph Talbot. Magbagor backing her way in against Whittle, and she drops it in as well. Talbot wants to respond back in kind. Gives it off to Wilson instead. Tries to wriggle her way through.
And if they're lining down the other end, Ezzy Magbagor, she's going to be too big, too strong, too crafty in that position when she gets that seal. But when she comes across the lane, you see Steph Talbot there try and reach in You're either going to get a foul or you're going to give up a shot. You've got to come early and try and meet her with the body if you've got that mismatch in there and try and help Marina Whittle out.
Here's Talbot. To Whittle, back out to Talbot. Decides to pull up this time for the mid-range two, and that pings out. Right. George, right on the wraparound, kicks it out to Beck from the corner. Flushes the three, Stella Beck. Impressive shot. Marina Whittle. 20-point advantage for the Boomers. Quick passing around the arc for the Lightning. The layup no good. Boomers quick end to ends. George and McBagor. McBagor into George again. Underneath the bucket. Whittle's making it difficult. Brooks in there as well, but they let McBagor go free. And the Lightning come up with the rebound. Into the corner. Three-point look for Taylor Altman. Here's a good one.
That's how you see the Lightning play. They don't care that they've had a couple quick shots. That's the way they are drilled to play. Get out and run. Look for those open threes in the first 6 to 8 seconds of the shot clock, no matter what. Matty Garrett probably unlucky there. Looked like a bit of a foul. But here they go again, Lightning off in transition.
Tempo increasing for the Lightning right before the half. Quick passing out to Chelsea Brooke. A floating attempt at a three-point. Comes back out and into the free space. Again, the Adelaide Lightning. Taylor Ortlip up to 5 points. Three-point shot before, followed up with the subsequent ends. She drove inside.
It's a much better 2 minutes just here from the Lightning, and it started with their ability to be able to get a stop and run. We sound like a broken record, but that's when they are at their best. They just take it off the rim and they can push, and then the defense isn't set up. You don't get a chance for the Boomers defenders to really load up on Steph Talbot, Alex Wilson, and you catch them off guard. And you can get those early open threes, and you get no one in position, and you can chase O-boards or get lucky with O-board bounce like that.
5-point run for the Adelaide Lightning, so they've been able to get back in and got out to 20 points for the Boomers. The Lightning, though, this will be good for them heading into halftime, Pete. They'll have to try and hold on to this up-tempo style that we've seen in the last minute or so into the second half.
Yeah, they will, and that's how exactly they want to play. And it all starts with their defensive energy and limiting the Boomers to one shot, because once they can take it off and go, their energy lifts and they get the chance to get more offensive rebounds themselves, and they can slowly start to peg this thing back one stop at a time.
As McBagor, you saw there, she's always going to provide a handful for any team that she comes up against. 4 from 5 from the floor. And 1 from the free throw line as well. Up to 9 points. Second top scorer so far for the Boomers, along with Maddie Garrick on the same figure. So 40 seconds, just under 40 seconds to play before half time. Here's Stella Beck. Purcell to her left, now Garrick. George calling for it inside, kicks it back out to Beck, converted to 3 a moment ago. Defense closing down as the shot clock was expiring, and now the Lightning down the other end, drive it back, and Wilson makes it good. Positive ends to the second quarter for the Lightning. It'll be even more positive if they stop this. George's shot doesn't go. And so a 7-0 scoring run at the end of the first half of the Lightning means that 20-point deficit is down to 13 at halftime, Pete Hawley.
Oh, that's been the issue with the Lightning the last couple of games. They show flashes of brilliance, and that was it for the last couple of minutes there. And that zone they were in, you can hear them talk, you can see them all moving, and it might not be the exact position you're supposed to be in. There might be some places that things break down, but you're helping each other and you have to keep moving. So it's a great little switch up by Chris Lucas there. And as we said, that's when they're fun to watch and they enjoy playing like that.
Really positive end to that first half for the Adelaide Lightning, but it is the Melbourne Boomers who lead at half-time, 44-31. 13-point lead for the Melbourne Boomers at the end of the first half. Here at the halftime show, Chemist Warehouse WNBL. We are in round 5, the start of the last round of the season. So it's the final week of the season with finals beginning in the upcoming weekend. Pete Hooley is with me at HQ. Good first half for the Melbourne Boomers, but the Adelaide Lightning certainly made a good fist of it right at the end there.
Oh, the Boomers came out on fire and they really did all the things that make them such a championship threat. They executed on offense and their physicality was there. Their energy was just too much for the Lightning at the start, but it was almost like the same old story we've seen from the Lightning in the last couple of games. They give up too many offensive rebounds, the breakdowns, but they had little flashes in that first quarter, but ultimately those offensive rebounds hurt them in their defensive breakdowns. But you saw there that last couple of minutes, that's the Lightning that we know can show up, and it starts on defense. They were talking, they were moving, and it's funny that when they're doing that, the energy lifts on the offensive end and they get a lot more easy buckets.
Yeah, it's having that slow start and allowing Melbourne the early momentum is, I mean, it's almost criminal to do that against the Boomers, who had their own issues at the start of the season. The first half of the season, they would start games quite slow, but they've picked that up and they had that 4-game winning run. So the Lightning, I don't know what would have played into that. I mean, the Boomers are a great side, but there was sort of no reason, I guess, for the Lightning to have a sluggish start out of the gates.
Especially not with how that game went against the Lynx. They only lost by a couple on a buzzer beater, and they probably should have had a little bit more of a buffer, but they gave up too many second chances, and you really thought that would have been hammered home in the day off, and Chris Lucas would be talking about that, so they would have been disappointed with that start. But I'd be impressed with the Boomers because, as we said, without Tess Madgen, not only is she scoring 15 points a game and doing a lot of other things well, she's a leader and she comes out with that kind of energy. So for them to start like that, particularly Kayla George, Ezzy and Maddie Garrick, would be a really promising sign for Guy Malloy, because in a season like this, when you need Pallies to step up, if a player gets in foul trouble or is rested, you need to have that trust in the rest of the squad to be able to come out like that.
Great input off the bench as well for the Melbourne Boomers. They've run with the starting 5 combination for long spells in games, but now with the end of the season coming up and a pretty heavy schedule last week, we'll see, I'm sure, more of an input from the players off the bench. And Izzy Wright in that first half played almost 10 minutes. Kalani Purcell, who I've always been impressed with when she's come off the bench. She's such a threat for the Melbourne Boomers, and she's had 4 points in that first half in 6.5 minutes. So they're getting a lot of input from the bench points as well.
Oh, it's huge, and they don't have to come in and score 20 off the bench. You know, when you're on a team like the Boomers, where the majority of the scoring is going to come from the starting unit, you've got to come in and play solid defence and then take your opportunities. As you said, Purcell gets in the right spots. She knocks down the shots when she has to. She finishes off well. And that's all you have to do. And you have to make sure you can really just keep that defensive energy going. As we have a look at the stats there, the rebounds, again, that's what Chris Lucas is going to be saying in that halftime locker room. You don't want to be in there because it's been saying that for the last couple of games. But if they can control that and control that early, then you can slowly start to get on a run, and then you can try and frustrate the Boomers and see what can happen in this third quarter.
Yeah, and offensive rebounds, I'm just trying to find the figure here, 9 to 5 in favour of the Melbourne Boomers. So part of that rebound stat, and the field goal percentage as well, 47, so almost going at 50%. The Melbourne Boomers in that first half to 36% for the Adelaide Lightning. So they've had their opportunities. They've had, as you can see there, a few less looks, but they've also just been a little bit inaccurate when they've had their shots and tried to drive to the ring.
Well, they missed a couple of layups as well that they'd won back, and Chelsea Brook missed a couple, and Steph Talbot that you'd want to take. But when you're not getting a stop down one end, you've got to make sure that you're trying to finish off those bunnies. And it's hard. It kind of weighs on your head that it keeps happening, and you think you can't break the drought on either end. You can't get a stop, or you can't tick that scoreboard over. So they should take a lot of momentum into that in that last 3 minutes, and hopefully they come out on fire in that third quarter.
Kayla George has had 14 points for the night. She's the top scorer so far in the first half, 6 from 9 overall, and she has had the 2 3-pointers to go along with it. She's been a handful underneath the bucket. She's had a lot of points from inside the paint, right underneath the cup in that first quarter in particular, and then was able to complement it with a couple of 3-pointers.
Look, she's got a beautiful stroke and a great shot, and you see right here, that's what got her going. If you're Luella Tomlinson, you've got to know that she can shoot it well when she starts getting that confidence. So that little first bunny was almost like a free throw, and then it gives her the ability to step out and do this, and then she has the one on the shot clock, which was on the first quarter buzzer. But we know she can do that. She's going to get in the right spot, she's going to get O-boards, she's going to position well, but when she's knocking down that 3, she's just a dual threat and really tough to guard. So it starts with that first one.
Well, Thomason will look at that and say, I've got her going. She's got her eye in now, and that's going to make my job harder because I have to be able to get out there for shots like these or pick and pops. She missed a couple, it'll be a different story, but she's a terrific shooter when she hits that first one.
And already on double-double watch as well. She's had 7 rebounds in the first half, so she'll be there in a flash, I'm sure, at the start of the second. Pete, Steph Talbot tonight, what have you made of her game? She's an MVP contender for the season. She's had a couple of decent chances, but the Boomers are really committing a lot on defence to her.
Oh, they will be. You know that was going to be their big idea, is coming out and throwing a lot of bodies at Steph Talbot, especially when she gets the ball in transition. She's really quick, really crafty finish as well. And she's hit the deck a couple of times. She's seen double teams in transition, triple teams, but she's having an outstanding year, and a big credit to her of the load she's been able to carry. And yeah, she's definitely an MVP candidate.
Yeah, who among the MVP candidates would she have her, or will she be most sort of competitive against with the other league leaders?
Well, I think there's only 3 in my mind. Obviously, everyone else has their own opinion. I think obviously Liz Cambage has been terrific, and we knew that she's one of the world's best at what she does and is showing that. But Lauren Nicholson, in my eyes, is currently the MVP because of what she does on both sides of the ball. And Townsville rolling, she can score a bunch, and then she can get put on that opposition guard and really shut them down. And there's probably going to be a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year, but I think it's going to be those 3, and all 3 are so valuable to their team, which is why they're in that conversation.
The Townsville Fire could end up sweeping awards night because they've got big contenders in the Rookie of the Year or the Youth Player of the Year and the Coach of the Year as well. Shannon Seebohm's been spectacular, but the Youth Player of the Year is going to be a tight race. I reckon there's a lot more genuine contenders for the young player than there is probably for the MVP.
Oh, there is, and that's just how good this season's been. We're getting to see them night in and night out, but in my eyes, I think it's a race between 2, and it's Shyla Hill, Maddie Roche have been terrific, and Shyla Hill averaging 17, 5 and 4, and then Maddie Roche 16, 3 and 3, both on finals contention teams. So it's going to be a really tough one to pick, and they played against each other the other night, and Shyla Hill was terrific. She really went at Maddie Roche, who really lifted in the second half and showed her that why they're both in the Opal squad as well. We talk about that. You don't envy whoever has to select those guard spots in the Opals team because some really, really good players are going to be left out.
Absolutely, yeah. So, can you? You probably can't take both of them to the Olympics next year.
No, I don't think you can take both. I think you're going to have to start with one of the starters of the veterans who have been there in an Olympic-type atmosphere. You've got the Leilani Mitchells, Katie Ebzery, Tess Madgen, all these kind of guards who have been there, done that. But I wouldn't mind seeing the bench spot being thrown to one of these young guns to give them that experience and know that they're going to come with that energy, and they're the future. So I wouldn't mind seeing them have a chance soon.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting to see Shyla Hill and Maddie Roche, especially at this stage in the same competition, going head to head, because you know that's going to be the long-term future at the point position for the Opals. A Smoky, I don't think she'll win the Youth Player of the Year, but one that might be among the leaderboard. Alex Sharp from Perth. I think she just makes the cut-off at 23 years of age. I think it's her first season of WNBL as well, so she fits the criteria. How from what you've seen, what have you made of her first season?
Oh, she was really good the other night. Her defence was good, but she's really blossomed into a little bit of an offensive threat as well. And what helps is you're playing alongside a terrific guard in Katie Ebzery, who's going to find you in the right places. We saw what she did with Darcy Garvin, just feeding her on a platter. But playing with elite point guards is going to help your confidence grow, and it's going to help your game grow, which is what we've seen. But she's another one. And you talk about some youth players in the years to watch. Jade Melbourne's another one. What a breakout she's been. Just been stuck behind some other elite guards as well, which is what we've seen. But yeah, it's going to be a real tough award.
Yeah, she'll head to college next year as well, Jade Melbourne. So more development on the way for her. Coach of the Year, and we talk about Townsville sweeping the awards, maybe from what we've seen. Shannon Seebohm, he's going to be right in there for Coach of the Year.
Well, yeah, he would be my pick just because what he's done with that squad. They're a terrifically talented squad, but you look around the league and the Southside Flyers, all the talk was about them, how dominant they are, and Cheryl Chambers has done very well to get them to where they are. It's not easy to coach such a talented team. It's hard to do, to get them to mesh, and she's done it well, especially as of late. And then Paul Gorris is going to be up there because to be able to do it year in, year out, and have that championship culture go from year to year, it's a really, really tough thing to do. So you've got to give him that credit, and the Canberra Capitals are going to be up there as well. But I just love what Shannon Seebohm's done with that team, and they seem to be enjoying all that. And they're a team you don't want to play in the final series because obviously they're going to be playing at home. They can pack it out, they can get up and about it, and they're so fun to watch. And in a season like this, where one game can send you home, they're a danger team. You don't want to come up against the Townsville Fire in the finals.
Yeah, they've grown together superbly over the course of the season. So I think from where everyone's expectation was at the start of the year, we sort of didn't know this young team that had been put together to what they've executed has been fantastic. Speaking of Townsville, the finals coming up in the weekend ahead, so 2 weekends from now. The tickets are on sale. Head over to WNBL.basketball to buy your tickets. They are being released tomorrow at midday Australian Standard Time, so 1 p.m. for those of you currently in daylight savings on the east, and then work out all the time differences back across the country. So you can get those tickets on sale tomorrow for the start of the WNBL finals. Pete, the second half about to get underway, 44-31. The Melbourne Boomers up at the half. So from the end of the second quarter to now, the Adelaide Lightning are currently on a 7-0 scoring run. They'll look to keep that going right off the top here in Cairns. Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Round 5 beginning tonight. There'll be a game right after this as well, Perth and the Sydney Uni Flames. Perth looking to go for a 4-game winning streak, so exciting what they've been able to put together at the back end of the season. But the second half here, Steph Talbot trying to get things underway for the Lightning, just misses out. Again, finding herself double-teamed underneath the bucket. And the Boomers through Beck and Karatiana. Back to Beck and now George. Garrick for a long 2. Overhit it off the window. Here goes Weera. Luella Tomlinson with a free look at the three-pointer. Well run down by Talbot. That was combative. Both her and Karatiano went skidding across the floor. Weera shouldering her way through Stella Beck. And unable to put that one in. Here's Garrick. Ash Karatiana. Maglagor. Back to Garrick again. Lovely no-look pass down low to Maglagor, and that one's short as well.
Just better defense already we see from the Lightning picking up where they left off, and everyone hitting a body, limiting them to one shot. But can they capitalise, just try and tick over that scoreboard and whilst keeping that defensive pressure?
Wilson with the look, and there we go. First points of the second half go to Ali Wilson. She's got 9 points. Adelaide's 9 unanswered points either side of half-time. Karatiana, great stop by the Lightning. Chelsea Brook the one in there, taking that off her. Now it's Talbot. And again, no place to go. Ran into a dead end. Maddie Garrett crossing over Abby Weerung. Side to side to side. George just outside the paints, puts it in. First points in a while for the Melbourne Boomers. Brook just outside the keyway. Here's Maddie Garrick. Maglagor looking to link in again with Kayla George. Took it, turns, fade away shot for 2.
This is where it is, and we talked about it in the start. She got her eye with a little free throw line jumper, but now she's just going to keep knocking them down off one leg there. She's just got such a terrific touch. Once she's got her eye in on the other end, you can't score like that against the Boomers because they're too athletic and they're too well drilled defensively. You've got to be able to get them out in transition where they're not set or run through some plays.
Garrick will take her chance from long distance. Very audacious. Wilson zipping down the other end. Have to put the skids on, and in the end it goes in.
And that's the one-on-one you want to see. That's what we talk about in the Lightning. You can't break them down one-on-one in the half court because the Boomers are too well drilled defensively and they move well together. When you get out in transition, it's tough as Kayla George lets one fly, but I want to see Alex Wilson have more responsibility with the ball in her hand this quarter and try and take that pressure off Steph Talbot, because you see as soon as she gets it, the Boomers just flock to it.
McGaw with the feed into George. So Wilson has 9 points now. Make that 11 points now after that last bucket. And just the 2 assists for the night for the Adelaide point guard.
That last play was just how she likes to play. Get out and run, and she's very physical when she attacks the rim. And even in the half court, that's where you can kind of, if nothing comes of their transition, try and get a ball screen. You can get either Luella Tomlinson or even Steph Talbot to come up, set a ball screen, try and get Alex Wilson going downhill to put the pressure on. She might get to the free throw line. She might open someone up for a 3-ball, but I want to see the ball in her hands more so she can be aggressive.
Marina Whittle back on the floor. Wilson, sidestep to the left, opens up some space. George gets the board. Only Purcell ahead. Adelaide back in their defensive structure well, but Purcell gets it anyway. Lovely pass from Kayla George. Purcell right underneath the bucket, off balance.
He talks about Purcell off the bench, just really, really smart. Just saw that she was being fronted and held her position, and she'll want that one back. She needs to reward herself for that great position.
Shot clock down to 6. Stella Beck 1-2 with Karatiana, who gets held up. Great defense from Whittle, and the shot clock expires. Great stuff, in particular Marina Whittle just holding in that corner Karatiana and Purcell.
It's been much better defense from the Lightning than we saw in that first quarter, and had a couple lapses here and there, but it's nothing that stems over a period of time, which is why they managed to stem this bleeding and only down 13.
Ortlip. Around to Smith. Going to the inside. Just took on a bit too much. He was outnumbered all the way through. Purcell, quick pass into George. On the turn, in off the glass.
She's up to 20 points now, 8 rebounds. But again, we're talking about Purcell's smarts of getting in a nice seal. Kayla George just sprinting the floor, sealing up on the smaller defender, and that's just too easy for her.
Tomlinson around the corner to Smith. Quick passing. Wilson finds Ortlip at range. Will bounce back out to her. Goes to the insides. Got some contact from Kayla George.
Well, good ball movement by the Lightning, and Alex Wilson could have taken that deep 3, but finds Ortlip, and just to stay with your shot and go up against the trees and go to the line and earn a couple.
Taylor Ortlip had a quick run of 5 points right at the end of the first half. Up to 7 now for Ortlip. Adelaide native. Ratiana around to Beck. Beck again, very busy. George will have a look from 3-point range. This is out this time. Wilson brings it down. Heavy contact. Ash Karatiana hits the floor hard. Gets up okay.
I think Alex Wilson might be a little unlucky that you see her fighting over the screen and trying to push in, and Alex Wilson getting a little frustrated with the push-off as well. But I want to see her in the downhill attack mode, because she's coming across when you get that ball screen and really try and use the screen shoulder to shoulder, so then the defender can't get through and even put that situation as a possibility. And maybe the big switches onto you, which you trust Alex Wilson. Gets a great feed, great cut. And that's the Boomers offense we're talking about. They can afford to settle it down in the half court, run through their plays, because they got really, really smart action.
Beck scoring that last time. Now Wilson this time. Wright gets the takeaway. Into Farnworth. Beck again. Good pressure from Wilson. Just knocked it out of Purcell's hands for a second. Boomers down to 7 on the shot clock. Purcell slicing away through the middle. Got it back. Farnworth gave her the feed. And Purcell again. More points off the bench for her.
Well, just a really, really great read. Look at just the slip there. You saw the defenders didn't go with her, and a really, really great finish using that rim as protection. But it just takes a couple of lackluster or miscommunications on offense from the Lightning, and then all of a sudden the good teams are going to make you pay. And that's what's been happening the last couple of games. And Chris Lucas, in the last 3 minutes of that second quarter and the first 3 of this, would be very happy, but they just haven't been able to sustain it. And it is a tough way to play when you're really, really good at that transition style and be able to get out and run and be aggressive. But it's hard to contain that and sustain it, especially in a compacted season where you got games every other night and trying to get your legs under you. And again, coming off quarantine where they've got a lot of games, it is a tough way to play, but luckily you have got young guards who should be able to fight through it. But
Kayla George is in 2 from 6 attempts from 3-point range, but Maddie Garrick has been the star, as she has been all season from distance. 3 trebles tonight from 7 attempts, and she can turn a game quickly. We've seen that a couple of times when she finds the hot hand, especially in the second half. She can really help the Boomers stretch away.
Oh, she can, and I think she prefers probably that little step-back 3, the little contested one. She missed a couple of wide-open ones, which would frustrate her, but as you said, she can fill it up quickly. She's extremely streaky, and when she gets in those little modes, it's really fun to watch. But they need her to be putting in some points, that 10 to 15 points a game. For when they get into the finals, they can't just rely on Ezzy, Kayla, and when Tess Magic comes back, they need that extra threat in case one of those others gets in foul trouble.
Garrick on the bench. You saw Tess Magin sitting next to her as well in the polo top and the specs, out with knee soreness in this game. Second match she's missed this season. They stop them at one end to the Boomers. Down the other end, Sizzy Wright gets buffeted out of play. Her and Farnworth are on the breakaway. Abby Weerung.
Well done, Abby Weerung, to get back there and contest that. That looked like it was going to be a layup, but you saw down the other end, as soon as that ball went into Steph Talbot, the Boomers just know exactly where she is, and they just close up on her, don't give her any space, and did extremely well to get the ball out. But that's how the Boomers, you can see that they're going to target her, and they have to because they know how good she is and how good of a season she's having.
Here's Talbot. Trying to feed that one in. Whistle goes against Farnworth. A bit too much contact. Smith out to Weerung, has a pop from the corner and drains it.
It's good to see that one go down because they've had a couple of those kickouts to wide open shooters, and really everyone on the floor for the Lightning pretty much at all times can knock that one down. And that's the way they can play. They do share the ball well when it gets into those breakdown situations. It's a really good knockdown.
Always good from range, Abby Weerung. Wright this time couldn't replicate it down the other end for the Boomers. Good rebounding though from Melbourne. Purcell, lovely feed into Farnworth. Just off balance, so she gives it away to Wright. Now to Beck. Trying to step her way through the traffic. And had it stripped off her. Oh, bad pass from the Lightning. They can start again here, Melbourne. Straight into George. Weerung slowly peeling herself up off the floor.
They got lucky there, the Lightning. You give the Boomers 3 bites of the cherry, they're normally going to make you pay. And good defense initially from Marina Whittle, but you've got to make sure you're trying, as Chris Lucas has said, just give them one shot because Kayla George is going to make that 9 times out of 10. They got lucky there.
Brooke Basham on the floor for the first time. Talbot around to Smith. Now to Weerung. Flings it back out to Smith. Weerung has to find an opening. Pulls up in the paints. Bounces out. Now away to Karatiana. Basham once more. Oh, finds an opening. Got around Kayla George and just couldn't make good on the layup. Well won back though by the Lightning. So Brooke has a go from distance and that's a better result.
That's what Chelsea Brooke's been doing these last 4 or 5 games. She's just taken this opportunity and kind of broke out into a little star for the Lightning. had 10 points, 15 points, 16 points, but she's just becoming a really confident shooter. And when her feet are set, more often than not, that thing's going down.
No good from Kayla George. So the Lightning now can put a little scoring streak together. Brooke will have another shot for 3. This time falls short. 6-0 scoring run at the moment for the Lightning. That game-high 20-point lead, which we saw midway through the first half, is back into 11 for the Boomers. They've done well in this second term, the Lightning.
They have, and Purcell's been the one that's kind of settled the Boomers this third quarter. Nice screen and roll, couple good defensive plays, but every time Lightning seem to make a run, it's Purcell's been the one to make a big play and a really good take there, really strong take, and now she gets to earn a couple.
Lightning have outscored the Boomers 15-10 in this third quarter, now 15-11. Converts both. Kalani Purcell. Wilson. Way to wee run. Running rings around Melbourne. Basham driving to the inside, left-handed layup, just mistimed it. She almost gets it back against Kayla George, who took her eyes off it for a second. Maddie Garrick back out there. Third quarter's absolutely flown by. Hooter about to sound. Out to right with a long attempt. Purcell driving away to the inside. Courageous stuff from all comers.
As we said, Purcell's been that one to really steady that ship for the Boomers, and it's exactly plays like that. Had no right to get that offensive rebound, just puts her head down, goes, be aggressive, and gets to go to the line again. But Brooke Basham comes in, hasn't played so far, and had a wide open layup that she'd want back, and then that other one hit the bottom of the backboard. But that's good energy. Chris Lucas will be happy to see that energy off a player who's been sitting that whole first half.
Yep, an impactful 3 minutes for Brooke Basham, certainly. This is both Kalani Purcell. Long-range attempt. Oh, that wasn't far off from Luella Tomlinson. Well, a better quarter there for the Adelaide Lightning, so they end up winning that quarter, I think, just marginally. I'll get the final 12-12, I think it was, so they broke even with the Melbourne Boomers in that third quarter, but much better showing from the Lightning.
Yeah, they had a little 2-minute period in the middle there that really hurt them because they got off to a flyer and finished well, but just leaving a lot of points out there on the court, and you can see that just a missed layup here or there, and then a couple of O boards that they did well to kind of stop on their run have hurt them, because this could be a single-digit game right now. And they'll be looking to just try and emulate that. They want that consistency for 10 minutes because, as we said, it should be a single-digit game, and they should be having a real good crack at this.
Was that a quieter quarter, though, so I know Adelaide's, they were better, as we said, left points out there, 12-12 third quarter, but was it a quieter turn for their bigger name players, Talbot, Wilson and co?
Yeah, it was, and it's going to always happen. There's going to be those quiet times, so who else can step up? Chelsea Brooke did, Abby Weerung. As we listen to Guy Malloy here, it's a big message going into this fourth quarter.
Now, fourth quarter, we've got to stick a couple of daggers in really quickly here. On our blob defense at the end, right, we're going to flash the cutter to the basket, both sides. The guard, you've got the high guard, you've got to bump the cutter going to the weak side, and the three-man's got the corner shooter. Right, we don't want to give that stuff up, so let's make sure we execute it. Okay. Now our ball here, we're going to run flex for Kayla. Flex for Kayla. Got it? Right, let's execute it. We'll get a good look inside. Hey, it's important we score on first play and then put everything into a stop on the first play. You got Talbot to begin with. Here we go.
Rivers on 3, 1, 2, 3. Rivers.
Take from that, Pete.
you heard him say he'll stick a couple of daggers in early. They left a couple of threes out there, wide open ones that they'd love to knock down. And they're going to start here with a little play, a little cross screen to get Kayla George hopefully wide open underneath the basket and try and get it going. But then after that, he said it's so important to get a stop. They want to kind of put this to bed early because they've seen when you ramp that pressure up on the Lightning and try and get a stop or two, then they can get a little bit rattled. And he knows how dangerous they are when they can get rolling.
So 56-43 as we were at half-time. 13-point difference in favour of the Boomers. Purcell out to Beck. Into George. Back out to Purcell. Shot clock down to 5. Slightly affected was her shot, Kalani Purcell.
Well, that's going to frustrate Guy Malone. You heard him want to run that flex action, and it just wasn't there. Players weren't in the right position because it was a great screen under, but Kayla George should be getting that ball fed from the wing, not the high post or up the top. And in the end, Purcell just a little bit of a hand in the back, but that's not the way to start when you get given a play at three-quarter time and don't execute.
Weirung. Talbot works her way to the inside, went in and out for Steph Talbot. Now it's Garrick. Purcell. Over the top to Kayla George, gets it and in off the backboard. Kayla George, more points in that fashion.
Terrifically weighted pass by Maddie Garrick there. If you're too short, it's going to be stolen. If you're too long, you're going to have to give her something to reach and might let the defender catch up. That was a really, really good pass.
Co-captains working in tandem for the Boomers. Now Basham still out there, has a look from long range, and Brooke Basham making a bit of a difference here for the Adelaide Lightning.
Well, she is. She should probably have 7 points. She missed 2 little layups, but her energy's been terrific. And that's what Chris Lucas has wanted to see from everyone in a consistent manner this whole game, and she's really done well the minutes she's been on the court. And
good take from Karatayana, didn't make the shot go. One back by Purcell, and then Beck finishes it off. Good teamwork from the Melbourne Boomers. Here's Basham once more. Didn't want to go that time. Now Weirung. Wilson. Has a look from distance. In the face of Maddie Garrick, puts down a 3-point shot.
What she can do. She's got such a quick release. And again, another one who probably likes to shoot more contested threes. She's got a super quick release, really great touch, but she's been really good tonight, and it's a really welcoming sign for the Lightning.
And Karatayana on the follow-up drops it in from close. Wilson. Steps around Garrick, pulls up, puts the brakes on. Now Talbot. Protecting the paint pretty well here, the Boomers, and they finish it off on defense. They'll try to convert it at the other end. Garrick. Beck straight inside to George, and this time Talbot read the feed inside to the centre. Weirung. To Chelsea Brook, who just misses out. It's one they have to convert, Adelaide. Easy points not being taken. Purcell over the top again, into George. Garrick helping her out underneath the bucket. She misses out as well. Steph Talbot trying to split the gap. Hit the ground hard. Funny bone, she said.
The couple of plays before that, you saw Steph Talbot end up getting blocked, but you can just see the intent from the Boomers. When she's got the ball, everyone is taking an extra step towards her because they know that she's going to try and be aggressive, and they know that she is that MVP candidate, the superstar of the Lightning. So they have put so much emphasis on trying to make it a rough night for her, and I'm sure she's frustrated, but in one hand, it's a compliment because that's how good you've been and that's how good they know you are. But it's tough when they're going to always, no matter where you are, they're going to be showing you bodies, and can you make the right play at the right time? And it's those ones in transition that you like to see from her when she's really aggressive.
Adelaide travelling at 100% from the free throw line tonight. That's 6 from 6 so far.
You just knew it, didn't you? You just knew it.
As soon as I said it, I knew it. 100% while it lasted. Magmagor on the floor, gets the feet from Karakiana. Easy put away for Ezzy. Basham circling around, out to Ortler, who's hit them from 3 as well tonight. Not on that occasion. George, lovely 1-2, shares it with Beck, who couldn't put it away. It was a great play from the Boomers. Stella Beck failing to convert at the very end. 14-point difference. Wilson, Basham in over the top. Tomlinson came to her quickly. She almost didn't realise. And she had it stripped off her at the very end.
Well, it looked like much better offense from the Lightning there. A bit of side to side and misdirection, a little globetrotter handoff. But Maddie Garrick's done that twice tonight. One time she got a bigger block, but just completely leaving that help side defender and coming across and really good time with her hands.
Tomlinson kicks it out to Wilson. Long attempt at a 3, bounces off the back of the iron. Still more than half of the last term to go. The Lightning against the Boomers. It was 3rd against 5th on the ladder heading in. The Boomers looking to go 8-3 and all but secure their position in the finals. The Lightning 4-5. 3 games to come. They have to win this one tonight if they'll make a finals run. What a great pass that was from Kayla George. Long bounce pass into Ash Karatiana, who puts it away. That was phenomenal. Tomlinson just lost the handle and again under the pressure.
Well, hopefully we get to see that again, because that was an absolute dime from Kayla George. And Marina Whittle probably forgiven there. She probably could have taken that little floater, and she made a couple of those. We have a little look. Yeah, that's a dime, and it's fun to play when your bigs are excellent passes like that.
Ortlip kicks it around quickly to Whittle. Rattles out. Now Izzy Wright down the floor. George. Ratiana underneath for Garrick. Hand off back to Maddie Garrick, who wants the 3-pointer. Doesn't go. One out. Marina Whittle driving back down the other end. Trying to step her way through the traffic. Ratiana out to right. Magmagor feeds it over the top for George. Weirun came across at the last second.
Oh, they just have such good chemistry together and just knowing where each other is going to be at all times. But I tell you what I'm really impressed with from the Boomers' defense is how quickly they all run back and really load up on behind the ball. And yeah, they've given away a couple of fouls, but they've clearly highlighted how dangerous Adelaide are in transition, and they've done a really good job of trying to limit that by just getting back, sprinting back, and just building that wall of defenders behind whoever's got it out in transition.
Turn and shot from Karatiana. Doesn't go. Here's Whittle. Out to Ortlip. Into Tomlinson. She's 1 against 3 in the paint. Still has it, Tomlinson. Has a long pop at the shot. Off balance and under pressure. Now right again. Down low, inside to Magmagor. Off balance.
This is what I love about Ezzy. She never does anything out of control, and she's so well disciplined defensively, which you'd probably forgive her if she wanted to get a couple more blocks, because she's extremely athletic and times the ball so well. But down the other end, she just stays down, stays big, arms straight up in the air, and doesn't give up many fouls. And then down the other end, just seals up. She's extremely smart, but just the discipline she plays with never seems rattled. And that's why she's WNBA champion now and one of the best that we've got out here. But that's what I love to see from a superstar, is when things are going certain ways, you just don't get phased and you just know how to be successful.
Coming off a 20-point game against the Southside Flyers, Ezzy Magbagor. Chelsea Brook has hit the score tally very well tonight. 7 points she has, and has got a lot of them from inside the paint, but she's done it all around the floor.
Yeah, probably more unusual for her to be in there and getting some layups, because she shoots the three ball so well. But had 16 points the other night. I think it was 15 before that, and it's been a nice little revelation for the Lightning, a little find from Chris Lucas. And that's the beauty of a season like this, is there's going to be so many chances for someone to step up. The opportunities are going to be there, and it's not just going to be one, there'll be multiple. Who's going to take it? And she's definitely one that has. She's averaging like 11 on the season right now, but shooting the ball confidently, and she's definitely one to watch out for in the future, because she's taken this opportunity and can now grow into a bigger role from here on out.
Yeah, averaging 10.4 points per game, Chelsea Brook, and 4.5 rebounds as well. She's got 3 tonight to go along with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. That's her scoreline so far. With 3.5 to go in the last quarter, the Melbourne Boomers all but consolidating their position in the finals with a win here tonight. They've got Bendigo on Friday and then Townsville on Sunday, which will be a great little, almost a play-in game just about into the finals.
Well, we could get a chance where those two might have to play each other, and then first week of the finals play each other again. So again, it's going to be a crucial hit out. And as a coach, if it does happen, do you want to give too much away in one game, or what happens there? But so much left to play out with in this last round.
Here's Weirung. Stepping in and out, Whittle. Jaeger gives it off quickly to Ortlup. Back into the corner. Brooks found some space in there. Couldn't convert the 3 this time. Off the hoop and back to Ortlup. Now to Weirung. Going right up against Kayla George, showing no fear. Underneath the bucket, Marina Whittle. Speaking of finals, they get underway next Wednesday, so a week out from today, December the 16th. The semi-final matches, then the prelim is on Friday the 18th, and the grand final Sunday, December the 20th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Head on to WNBL.basketball. That'll get you there. Hit the tickets button in the top right corner of the webpage. Marina Whittle gets both from the free throw line for the Lightning. Here's Beck. Around to George. Now to Magbagor. Quick passing. George made the run into the baseline. Now to the corner for Purcell for 3 points.
Well, the defensive energy looked like it was pretty good from the Lightning right there. Everyone was running and moving, but just better ball movement from the Boomers. And even that looks good. A late call, but it looked like it was there. Stella Beck just putting her body on the line. That ball movement, they had a couple of possessions like that where that ball was just flown around and looked like her left heel was just lifted off that charge circle. Just a really good take, and might have got away with the little charge circle there, but it looked like she'll feel that one a bit later on.
Stella Beck. Magbagor, Davidson. Around to right, Magbagor back inside. She outpointed Marina Whittle. Gets the 2 points.
She's up to 14 and 10 in only 23 minutes of play. Just haven't seen too much of her, and hasn't looked like she's got a double-double, really. Hasn't looked like she's had that much influence on the game, but that's just a testament to how good she is. Oh, man.
And gets the block as well. Izzy Magbagor. It's a raucous bench in her honour as well. Trying to suppress the smile, but that's a great block.
Saw her coming across, and I thought she was going to be too late, but the athleticism just to come across and time that perfectly.
Get out of here.
3 blocks for the night, and I think all of them have been pretty well sized.
Amy Brett on the floor for the first time tonight. Got the shot away just as time expired, but inaccurate. Now Tony Farnworth down the other end. Davidson in off the backboard. Yeah, McMcGaw's played the fewest minutes of the starting five for Melbourne tonight. From distance, that's good as well, Marina Whittle.
Just a great knockdown, and another one who, with her feet set, and she's been playing really well as of late, so would have liked to see her a little bit more involved tonight.
Purcell, Antoniadou on the floor for the first time. Purcell again. Around to Farnworth. Into McGregor, punched away by Smith. And Ortlick will drive it back down the other end. Waits for reinforcements. Big cross-court pass to Whittle. Up against Davidson. McGregor gets the rebound, goes to the floor, holds it as well. Three blocks for Ezzy tonight. 14 points and 10 rebounds, as you made mention of before, Pete.
But it comes with their defense as a whole, because you can pressure more as the guard, and even Kayla George. You can afford to give a little bit more energy and pressure, knowing that if you do get beat, you've got Ezzy behind you coming from somewhere, or to step up. She's really good in that help side role as a defender. She can obviously defend one-on-one because she's super quick and has great lateral movement, but that's something that's going to be crucial when they get into the finals time. They're playing against these teams like the Caps, Flyers and Fire, who all have terrific guards. It's going to give Maddie Garrick, Stella Beck a chance to really get up and in, knowing they have that protection behind them.
One back by the Boomers. Antoniadou. Farnworth sprinting down the other ends. Finds an opening, in off the glass, and Farnworth puts in the two. All built off the steal from Rachel Antoniadou. Oh, that's a sharp ball inside from Whittle. Finds Jaeger. Gives it back, or she wanted to. Purcell got a hand in there and sends it back down the floor. Might get one last chance here, Adelaide, to put something up. Whittle with a three-point look. Shoulder-to-shoulder contact, Purcell and Brett.
And that's been the story of the tape, especially in these crucial minutes. Purcell off the bench, 11 and 9. But her energy just all over the place, trying to chase down those offensive rebounds. Her defense has been outstanding, and she's, along with Kayla George and Ezzy McGregor, has had a really, really good game tonight.
Brewster. At the end of the match, the Melbourne Boomers. Antoniadou. Points, the difference. Antoniadou. 5 seconds to go in the match. Purcell inside to Davidson. So this will be their 8th win of the season, the Melbourne Boomers. And that'll put them up into 3rd place. It was the Adelaide Lightning's last proper attempt at trying to make the finals, and that will pretty much all but rule them out. The Melbourne Boomers get a solid win, 21 points, all built off a 31-14 first quarter. From there, they were able to hold on right throughout the match. 76-55 at full time, Pete Hooley, and that was a good showing from the Melbourne Boomers across all facets of the match.
Yeah, it was. They really started well and came back from that loss the other night, and just a really good showing from them all round. And it's kind of the same story we've seen from the Lightning, with a couple of turnovers here, but offensive rebounds early, and just not being able to play that consistent 40 minutes. And that's what really hurt them in the end, because for about 40% of that game, they were the better team, and it really showed. And they got stops and they ran. So Chris Lucas will be saying, girls, it's been the same old story.
So full time, Melbourne 76, Adelaide 55, and for the time being, the Melbourne Boomers equal in terms of win-loss on the ladder, with the Canberra Capitals 8-3. Chemist Warehouse WNBL season round number 5 getting underway with a 21-point win for the Boomers. Perth and Sydney not far away. We'll have a chat to Ezzy Magbagor in just a second. Pete Hooley and Jordan Canellis with you here on this Tuesday night in what has been a very strong performance from the Melbourne Boomers. All started off by that first quarter 31-14. And they held that margin just about all the way through the match. Pete, as we have a chat now to Ezzy Magbagor, 14 points on the night. Ezzy, 10 rebounds as well, 3 blocks, including a big one at the end. So you got the double-double tonight, and that win pretty much puts you in the final, in the playoffs. Ezzy, how did that feel tonight, getting the win?
Yeah, we knew it was a big game coming up against Adelaide. They were hungry to win that as well. Obviously they stuck with us throughout the 4 quarters, but I think we did a really good job of just playing our game, and defensively we did really well to contain them to 52 points, so that was really good by us.
And as you coming off that loss to the Flyers, was that going to be the big focus? Was that defensive energy against the Adelaide Lightning team that love to run out and get in transition?
Yeah, for sure. I think in our pre-game, Guy definitely said, Adelaide are a running team, and that was evident today. So I think we just had to, have a great defensive transition game and just contain them in the half court and, be able to guard 1 through to 5. And I think, we do a great job of that, just being able to utilise our, athleticism defensively. And just, it's great to get the win tonight.
How did you feel out there from individually, but also just if you could feel it across the team, the fitness aspect? You guys had a week off a while ago, then you had a lot of games crammed into to the last 7 days, and now backing up again tonight. How are you feeling physically?
Yeah, I think, the fatigue is kind of there across all of us. I think it's been a tough stretch to end the season, and we still have a couple of games left, but that week off, I think a couple of weeks ago definitely helped, but our bodies are definitely feeling it today. We have a couple of days off before Bendigo, which will help, and then finish off in Townsville. Well,
that Townsville game could come down to being a crucial aspect when it talks about the ladder. How important is it to make sure that in the next game, and obviously you played well tonight, to build this momentum so when you get to finals, you're playing your best basketball?
I think it's really important. Like you said, Townsville are playing really well, so it's going to be great to finish off with them and just kind of build that momentum, like you said, leading up until finals. I think it's great to, just keep playing well. Obviously, we finish off with Bendigo and Townsville and then have a couple of days off before finals, but just to finish, strong and just to play our game of basketball will be great leading up to finals.
Ezzy, well done tonight on getting the double-double, on getting the win as well, and now looking ahead with a couple of games to go, obviously, in the regular season, but the finals now coming up next week. Congrats and good luck for the matches remaining.
Thank you.
Ezzy Magbagor with us tonight as we check out some of the Chemist Warehouse highlights from the second half. Pete, and Adelaide certainly had their moments. They had definitely a couple of scoring runs where they had big swings of momentum in their favour, but as you said, I think just after half-time, they left a lot of points out there on the floor, and the Boomers were able to hold pretty much, a 12 to 20-point leads right throughout the course of the match.
Yeah, the start definitely hurt them, and that's something that you can put down to numerous things to the Lightning. They're playing a lot more games in quick succession coming off that quarantine break, but when you give a good team like the Boomers a start like that and you're consistently chasing your tail, it's going to be hard to really peg that back because they're going to go on their own runs. They've got talent everywhere. So it's always going to be hard, and you've got to start well, but the Lightning, I'm sure Guy Malloy is going to be upset because, again, you just see these flashes of brilliance that we saw in the opening 2 games of the season for the Lightning. It's there. It's just about getting that consistent group to be playing like that, and that starts with their defensive energy because, as he said, they're so dangerous when they get out and run, but they've got to get stops to be able to do that.
The Lightning, what are they? They've got 3 games left this season. What is there left, do you think, to gain for the Lightning? They'll probably finish in that 5th position, so just outside the finals, maybe depending on how well Perth go in there. A couple of games left, but for a season which, they've had the rockiest season, given the quarantine at the start of the year, at the start of the campaign. What do you think they can take away, their biggest takeaways from this season?
Well, Guy Malloy's going to say it has been tough. It's been up against them. Things have been out of their control. But what is within their control is the energy they play with every single possession. And he's going to just preach, and we've got a couple of games left. Can we find that consistent effort for 4 quarters? And yeah, they might not be able to make the finals now, but they can keep a team out of second. They can keep a team out of third. They can really have a big say in how this finishes, because they can get a lot of games. They can come out and try and get some upsets and try and ruin some teams' momentums, but it's all about their consistency of playing 40 minutes of that basketball we saw in flashes tonight.
The rebounds there, that was the stat we were checking out in the first half. Ends up 51-39 in favour of the Melbourne Boomers, and a lot of them offensive rebounds as well. They had their fair share of that stat.
They did have them early, but another one there. You see the assist 25-12, but you can't look too much into that, because that's the way the Lightning play. The Boomers, the ball was flying around the court, but the Lightning are really good in transition, which is a lot of one-on-one when they get the ball. So you can't look too much into that stat, but that's just the way the two different teams play. But as you said, those rebounds early on is what hurt them, and when you can't get stops on one end and you can't score on the other, then leads are going to build, especially against a championship calibre team like the Boomers.
Not on the screen there, but another stat I've just come across. Points in the paint, 42-16 in favour of the Melbourne Boomers.
Oh, you could see that it was an intent from the Boomers. They just collapsed on everything, and that's because the ball was in Steph Towett's hands. As you know, it's going to be a lot, and she's trying to get to the rack. So you've got to give credit and a big tick to the Boomers' defence. They went out there with the intent to really load up behind the ball, and they did that tremendously well. And they made it a tough night for Steph Talbot and the Lightning.
So the Melbourne Boomers, their next game is against the Bendigo Spirits. That is coming up on Friday, so you expect them to get the win there. And then the Townsville Fire is their last match coming up on Sunday. So they've got the 2 games left. They're all but in the finals now, Pete, and that Townsville game especially. So that's part of the regular season. They might end up playing Townsville, as we said, in the first week of the finals or the semi-finals, middle of next week. So these, those will be crucial clashes for Guy Malloy and his Chargers.
Well, they will be, and in a season like this, that's what we talk about. The momentum you can build as a team is so important. So that game against Townsville, if you're going to be playing them in the first game next week, you want to be able to know exactly what they're going to do and how you can be successful against them. But if it is the case, then both coaches are going to be thinking, what do we do? Do we show our whole playbook? Do we have a couple of little aces up our sleeve? So a lot of things come into play, but that's going to be a big game. I'm really excited to see that one.
And then Adelaide's remaining run. They've still got some wins here that they can try and pinch. Bendigo, Townsville and Sydney. So certainly some good chances there, playing 2 sides positioned beneath them on the ladder in Bendigo and Sydney in particular. So still plenty of time for them to, plenty of chances for especially some of these younger players. And I feel like Adelaide probably have one of the younger or more inexperienced in terms of WNBL experience that there is in the league. So another chance for the likes of Chelsea Brooke and Brooke Basham to get more minutes, and Abigail Weering as well to sort of learn the ropes and I guess earn their stripes.
And Chris Lucas is going to be saying that there's still 3 games left. There's a big chance for someone to take that advantage we've seen from Chelsea Brooke and Abby Weering. Brooke Basham's another one like that. So he's going to be throwing that challenge, and he's going to keep saying what he's probably been preaching the last couple of games of, can we just play this consistent? Can we buy into what we have to do? We know how successful they can be when they're getting stops and running. So he's going to be throwing them that challenge. And I just hope that they can finish off with a couple of games like that, because they deserve it. We saw it early on before what happened with the quarantine. And when they are playing like that, geez, they're a fun team to watch.
Coming up next is Perth and Sydney as well. Quick tip for that one. I know you won't. You'll be darting off, but if you were to give a tip in the Lynx and the Flames,
I think it has to be the Lynx right now. They've gone 3 on the trot, led by Darcy Garvin and Katie Ebsbury. They're awesome to watch when they're up and running, and took a while to find their form. But I really love watching that 1-2 punch. And then as you said, Alex Sharp, Steindl found her form as well. So could be a long night if they play like they did the other night.
Excellent stuff, Pete. Pleasure doing business with you.
Thanks, mate. Looking forward to these last few.
Absolutely. 1 week to go, 1 round to go in the WNBL. Round 5 begins tonight. We just saw the Boomers getting the win against the Lightning. Coming up next, it's Perth against Sydney, right here from Chemist Warehouse WNBL HQ. We'll take a short break, but we'll be joining you again very shortly.